Calpulli Mexican Dance Company is returning for its 20th season, and this year they're bringing culture to life with their new show, Monarcas. Calpulli is partnering with the Queen's Theater this weekend, telling stories through the universal language of dance. And joining me now is the company's executive director, Juan Castaño. Juan, thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Juan, you've done so many great productions over the years, and I've seen many of them. Tell us about the new show.
So yes, Monarcas postponed by the pandemic. We meant to premiere this in 2020. So a few years later, it took us a few years to get it done. And Monarcas is a celebration of immigrant stories told through dance and music.
Now, this is Memorial Day weekend, and I understand there is a direct tie-in with one part of the program.
Definitely, yes. One of our stories commemorates soldiers in the U.S. Armed Forces, specifically a group of soldiers called Company E, which was the only all-Mexican-American battalion in the U.S. Armed Forces that served in World War II.
Amazing. And you come from a military family, and you were not aware of this company. I wasn't either, and I'm sure most of the people who will see this will be enlightened.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's one of the goals of the show, to share these stories, to see that immigrants and Mexican immigrants have a legacy across all of these different paths in life. And the soldier story is informed partially by my family's connection to the armed forces. And when I was doing research and I found this group, I thought to myself, how do I not know about these, being surrounded by that community and growing up in that environment? And I can only imagine how many people don't know about these immigrant stories.
And why did you think this story was so important to share of these soldiers? You
know what? When we started in this path of Monarcas, we really see Monarcas as something that can grow through the years, that tells really contemporary stories that, through folk dance that are relevant now. And this is our first, these are the first two stories that are part of Monarcas. So we chose them based on really our personal connection. Our artistic director chose a winemaking story because of his personal connection with his family, with farming, with agriculture. And for me, I chose to recognize the military connection in my family.
Yeah, and tell us about the winemakers in California.
Yeah, so there was a program also in the mid-1900s, a bracero program, where many Mexican immigrants, the United States asked for Mexican immigrants to come work because we were off in World War II. And they arrived in California as laborers, and then became, through the generations, led by women who became owners of their own vineyards, and now they're California winemakers. And we actually went to visit them in California, learned of their story. So all of these stories are really inspired by real people achieving what they achieved.
Now, you're performing at the Queen's Theater tonight and tomorrow during the day. What is it you hope audiences get out of this?
Well, one is to understand that these stories exist and to celebrate the legacy of Mexican immigrants. And then also, the stories have a universal message of perseverance, of struggle, of that immigrant spirit for the American dream, and those are universal across all of our communities. So we hope that people see the connection across us.
Especially in Queens, it's so diverse. All the different immigrant groups can relate to these.
Exactly, we hope so.
And you also teach children dance, teaching the next generation.
Yes, we do. Many of these, there's 4 dancers in our company now. They started dancing in our community classes when we were 6 or 7 years old, and now they're professionals on the stage. There's 4 of them that you're going to see this weekend. So we give free community classes in dance and music from New York, New Rochelle, New Jersey, and feeding that next generation of artists.
And lastly, quickly tell us, what is the importance of telling stories through folk dance?
Folk dance is such a unifying thing for different communities. It's powerful. It takes us back to our community, to our youth. And we think that, and the imagery, the color, the joy, the textures of the stories already lend themselves to storytelling. So now let's put a story on top of them that is relevant to now.
Well, I'm very excited about this latest production. Juan, thank you so much for being here and sharing it with us. Calpulli Mexican Dance Company at the Queen's Theater tonight and tomorrow. I hope everyone goes to see this.
Thank you so much.